Let's get right to it because the struggle to get vaccinated is very real for many older Americans. In fact, we've been reading your very stories, DBL Nation. But now there are reports that Hollywood elites are going to great lengths to game the system. Some are reportedly offering bribes of $10,000 to skip the lines. Others are trying to pose as healthcare workers or as staff at nursing homes. Some are even traveling great distances, going to areas where the shots are easier to get. Speaking of which, this wealthy Canadian couple has been accused of booking a private flight to a remote area of Canada, then posing as motel workers in order to get vaccines meant for Indigenous residents. They have been charged and they face up to 6 months in jail. Jeff, what do you make of this, and what do you think should happen to people if they get caught?
Well, I think that last story about the couple in Canada is the extreme, right? Of course they should go to. What do you mean you don't know about that?
Meaning the extreme that you don't think other people are doing this?
Yeah. This is a very extreme case.
You mean going and posing as people?
Yes, and traveling on a private jet. That's very extreme, right? They should definitely be punished. My take on this is nobody wants to jump lines, right? It's your character at stake here. And when we say Hollywood elites, we don't know who's doing this, right? This is kind of clickbaity to me when you say Hollywood elites. That, regardless who's doing it, it's your character on the line. My thing is, if people are willing to pay $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 for vaccines, use them. Use that $100,000. Let them, if they are an Hollywood elite, do it on camera. Show there's nothing wrong with the vaccine. I'm an advocate for the vaccine. Here's $100 grand. I'm going to give it back to the vaccine so we can make more of them and be an advocate for the vaccine. Other than trying to get it almost black market style. That I do not like. Cutting lines for people who need it, that I do not like.
Hey, look, I feel you. You know, my whole issue with this entire thing that we're discussing, Jeff and Erica, is just that not only the Hollywood elites, but that we act like that money does not bring privilege. It allows people to do this, and we allow that as citizens. We do not have pushback when we had the Varsity Blues. There was a prison sentence handed down, but we didn't really dig into that story, find out how far it went back. We understand that rich people will be in first class. Rich people
I disagree with you.
They will use you. What else do you use money for, Sam? You use your money to get to where you want to be.
I agree with the both of you, and Erica chime in the sense that it's egregious. It makes me sick. We're dealing with life and death here. So if one of our viewers, 95-year-old mothers, is having trouble getting the vaccine, and then you find out Joe Schmo with all this money is skipping the line when they have the privilege to stay at home because they have the wealth and opulence. They can order food. Who knows? Maybe they have a private chef. I don't know. It's life or death. So I disagree with Al, Eric, in the sense that I do think there was pushback for Varsity Blues. We did see some harsh consequences, maybe not as long as prison sentences that we all had hoped, but both of their careers definitely suffered. And I do think that there is going to be pushback if we find out certain celebrities or certain wealthy people are skipping the line in front of healthcare workers and the elderly. I guarantee you there's going to be pushback and consequences, Erica, and there should be.
Well, for sure there will be pushback, but are the consequences going to be more egregious than their inconvenience? They don't care about anybody's 95-year-old mother. They don't care about people who don't have the opulence and luxuries that they have. We're talking about a triage situation here. So essentially, if you're jumping the line and getting the vaccine before someone who may need it just to survive another month, then of course, as Jeff said, that's on your character, but will the consequences be something that is going to end their livelihoods? And more than likely, it's not. We are triaging this situation. That means the most imminent cases need to go first. A lot of people don't see the things that we're seeing at this point because they don't understand that for some people, this may have been the last Christmas. This may have been like one of the last few times that you were able to spend these special moments with your family. Every single year, for a lot of people, is another day that they're not going to be, or closer to the time that they're not going to be here. This is a very serious situation. So if you're the type of person that would jump the line and put your health prioritize over people who might just want to spend one last Thanksgiving with their family, then the punishment that's going to happen on this earth is nothing compared to the punishment that will happen after. I guarantee it.